As you review tracked changes in a document, you have the choice to accept or reject each change. Until you accept or reject all track changes and comments in a document, anyone who opens the document will be able to see the original text and the proposed changes. We have a document here in which we've turned on track changes and we've made some changes. There are some clues that track changes is on. For example, you can look at the status bar and notice that track changes is on. Even if we're on the Home tab and don't pay attention to the status bar, the fact that we have some items in strikeout and some items in underline is a pretty good clue that this document needs some review now that some proposed edits have been made. So we're going to use the commands on the Review tab to review the changes and comments in the document. I begin by making sure my insertion point is at the beginning of the document. And now I'm going to use the buttons in the Changes group to be able to review the document, to move from one change to the next, and to accept or reject the change. So I'm going to click the Next button, and the first change that's proposed is the deletion of employees in quotes defined in this heading, and I'm going to accept this change. Now I have the next change highlighted, which is the addition of the term definition of employee as a heading 1, and I will accept this change. I don't even have to click Next. Notice that each time I accept it moves me to the next possible change. And then it has the words employee in quotes, and the quotes have been removed, so I'm going to accept this change. Now, I'm not necessarily clear why I'm seeing this particular change. It's not struck out, it's not underlined. The answer, therefore, is that it's formatting. This would be a great time for me to go turn on balloons to show me any formatting, because otherwise I won't see it. And I'll notice that the formatting change is that this has now been formatted in bold, and I can say, yes, I like it in bold. Notice then that the change noted here in the balloon is gone. Next, I have another quote that's been deleted. I can accept this change. I can accept the change of this quote. This is a formatting change now. Now, at any point, if I have reviewed all of the document and think, I like all of these changes, I don't have to continue clicking Accept one at a time. I can actually say that I'd like to accept all of the changes in the document. But I need to make sure that I really want them all. Once I've accepted them, if I forget and move on, it will be hard to reconstruct what the document looked like previously. So I'm going to continue, and I'm going to accept this formatting change, and I'm going to accept this change of deleting the quote. Further down in the document, there's another change that replaces the term they with regular full-time employees. I'm going to reject this change and this one and return to the language they. I'll accept the deletion of a comma and accept the insertion of employee benefit program. And when I get to the end of all of the changes and I've processed them all, Word will tell me this document no longer contains any comments or track changes, and I can say OK and know that I'm good. Now, if I were interrupted in the middle or thought that I had reviewed all of the changes in this document, there's a way to check to make sure that I've actually caught them all. I can return to Backstage by clicking File, and in Info, I can check for issues, and I can inspect the document. So I want to save this document because I can't inspect it without saving it. Let's say yes. And I don't actually care about checking for anything other than comments and revisions. So I'm going to inspect this document, and it tells me there are no comments and there are no revisions in this document. So now I know that I've caught them all. Let's return to the Review tab. One more thought. If I work on this document again and do more editing, Track Changes is still on. So I can either go to the Review tab and click here to turn it off, or I can click here on the status bar and turn my track changes off because I've chosen to show track changes in my status bar. As you can see, it's very easy to quickly review and accept or reject changes when you use change tracking in Microsoft Word 2010.